Article 3 of the Constitution means for life pending good behavior. Which constitutional power of Congress best exemplifies the principle of checks and balances? The ability to override a presidential veto. How does the confirmation of presidential appointments illustrate the relationship between the executive and legislative branch? The president and Congress share powers through the system of checks and balances. The War Powers Resolution of 1973 was designed to limit the president's ability to deploy armed forces without congressional approval. The practice whereby judges allow their personal views about public policy to guide their decision, often leading to interpretations of the law known as judicial activism. One key difference between legislative and executive branches is that Congress makes laws while presidents enforce them. How many justices must agree to hear a case before it can be argued before the Supreme Court? At least 4 justices. Which constitutional change was designed to address presidential disability and succession? The 25th Amendment. The 22nd Amendment was adopted to limit the number of terms a president may serve. The heads of the executive department collectively makes up which advisory body to the president, the cabinet. What is the primary function of a bicameral structure of Congress? To balance representation between population-based and equal state representation. What is judicial review? The Supreme Court's power to declare laws unconstitutional. Unlike members of Congress, the president can issue executive orders to direct the operations of federal government. When historical event significantly expands Congress's power to regulate interstate commerce. The Gibbons v. Ogaden Supreme Court case. What is the constitutional require minimum age for U.S. Senator? 30. When deciding a case, which of the following steps would the U.S. Supreme Court perform first? Justices listen to an oral arguments from both sides. There are 9 justices in the Supreme Court. The president's role as chief executive primarily involves enforcing laws passed by Congress. Which feature of the legislative branch best demonstrates the principle of popular sovereignty? Regular elections of representatives. How did the 17th Amendment alter Congress' power structure? It changed how senators were selected from state legislature appointment to direct election. How are U.S. House of Representatives seats apportioned based on state population according to the most recent census? The highest court in the land is the U.S. Supreme Court. Which of the following is a similarity between the lawmaking process in Congress and the issuance of executive orders by the president? Both result in rules that carry the force of the law. A legal philosophy that interprets the Constitution based on framers' intent and historical context. Its meaning at the time it was enacted or amended is referred to as judicial organellism. The case established the policy of judicial review. Marbury versus Madison. The 20th Amendment primarily affected the executive branch by moving the presidential inauguration date closer to Election Day. Over the course of American history, the power of the president has genuinely expanded through war, crisis, and growth of federal bureaucracy. Which feature of the House of Representatives best exemplifies the democratic principle of proportional representation? The allocation of seats based on state population.